It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
So moving on to our beliefs versus others. Now this is section 1 of the course, and I'm going to be going over pretty much the way we view the markets in terms of against the institutions, right? So there is a visual representation. As you can see, we've got the big fish, which is the banks, hedge funds, pension funds, mutual funds, etc. Right? These are the big players who have the most money, the most liquidity, and the more power over the market. The smart traders we're just simply tagging the coats institutions. And we're not by all means any institutional traders. Everything that you hear or that online is complete, crap. It doesn't work like that. We are not institutional traders. They do not trade like us. You must get that, of course. I'll go into that in a minute. But you must understand that the amateur traders, the ones in front of the institutions, and the institutions are going to keep eating them up. And amateur traders, for example, you're buying from support, you're selling from resistance, and then what happens is you get stopped out, and then the trade goes in your favor, right? And what happens is that it's just when it comes to smart money traders, we know that that's going to happen. We pretty much manipulation experts, I suppose you could call us, but we're not, obviously. I don't like calling us any experts, but you get the idea. We understand manipulation, we understand liquidity, and we understand the institutional order flow. All right. But smart money traders, the visual representation is just simply tagging the coats of the institutions, following the big guys. 1.2. So our beliefs pretty much mean. So I've got 5 different points, and I'll explain them now. So number 1 is the market does not produce the money. You take the money from me, and I take the money from you. It is all driven by liquidity. So what I mean by that is simply because when we trade the markets, right, the market doesn't physically produce the money. You take the money from me, and I take the money from you. So for example, if you're entering a sell on your dollar, and I'm entering a buy on your dollar, it's either going to work for one of us. It's going to work for you, or it's going to work for me, right? So if I lose and you win, you took money from me. If you lose and I win, I took money from you, and that's how it works. And remember, the market's all driven by liquidity as well, so just money. Number 2, so the institutions have their own algorithms to trade, but remember these markets are manipulated and not made for us to make money. Now, what I mean by that is simply the institutions, they don't trade like order block supply and demand like we do. They trade supply and demand in a different way. They have their own algorithms, right? So they won't sit there and actively trade like we, as retail traders are doing. Because remember, you got to remember that these institutions, they're like 80% of the market, and we're only like 10-15% of the market, and the other percentage is obviously different types of funds. But we're the smallest in the market. We're smaller than hedge funds. We're smaller than everything. All right, we're the smallest fish in the market, smallest fish in the pond, right? So we just pretty much want to follow what they're doing. But the institutions, again, like they have their own algorithm. They just make sure they have geniuses pretty much. They come in, set up the algorithms, and you just monitor them, right? So it's not driven by like a commercial like hedge fund, for example, or like retail traders. It's all algorithms, right? The next one, they do not physically see your stop loss. It's pretty obvious the way your stop loss is, because remember, 96% of people lose. So again, the statistics, 96% of people lose in trading. Only like a few percent succeed, right? 7% still in after 5 years, So it's pretty obvious where your stop loss is. So again, if you're buying at support, selling at resistance, why would you do that? Okay, I'm not saying go and buy it as a resistance, but you get the idea. There's going to be a lot of, stoppage that you're going to get stopped out. There's going to be a lot of stop hunts, because there is stop hunts, right? They will take you out the trade. They don't physically see your stop loss though, but it's obvious where the liquidity is. It's obviously, it's obvious where the stop loss is. So when we trade smart money, we're just being different. We're being unique. Okay. Number 4. There is patterns that the institutions leave behind on a day-to-day basis, and which we can take advantage of. Therefore, we must ride with the big players. So again, the big players, the institutions, there's patterns, that they leave behind the footprints every single day on a day-to-day basis, right? So, for example, when we see an order block, right, followed by imbalances, we know that they're pumping money into the market. There's a shift in them, that you've seen there's a balance because there's a shift in momentum to the upside. They're going to buy, to sell, to buy again, and then close off their original buy position at break even. I'll go more into that in a different video. Number 5, the market is made for us to have a bias towards one idea, but in reality the complete opposite happens. Now make sure you keep note of this 5th one here, especially keep note of that one, because we relate back to it in the market structure videos. You'll say that, when we go back to, you hear me mention when I say, when we go back to our beliefs versus others, number 5, right? So make sure you remember that one. The market's made for us to have an idea towards one thing, but in reality the complete opposite happens, and it's completely true. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much just like how we understand the markets and how we view the markets. So pretty much we've got to be thinking outside the box. We've got to think opposite to what the retailers are doing. So if you use these charts where it's like 80% of traders are long on a pair, we want to be short on that pair, right? We don't want to be doing what they're doing. We want to do the opposite. It's like when I, for example, go on Instagram and I see someone put on their story, I'm looking for a buy on euro-dollar, I'm going to be looking for a sell. All right, that's pretty much the way we've got to think of it. So as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.